Okay, so this lesson today is over simple interest. And this is formula math again. So again, we're going to find all of the pieces to the formula and fill them in and do what the formula says. Let's talk about some vocabulary real quick. The P stands for principal. And that is the original amount. Right? The R stands for the rate. It's usually given as a percentage, and most of the time we change it to a decimal. You don't have to with our fancy calculators, but if you're using a calculator where you cannot enter a percent, you would have to change it to a decimal first. All right? And then T stands for time. And the time is measured in years. Okay, so those are the parts of our formula for today. The A stands for the ending balance on the account. The total amount is what the A actually stands for. It's amount. All right, so look at the example here. It says the simple interest on $750 borrowed for 3 years at an interest rate of 15%. So they did $750 is the P. The rate was 15%, and I'm going to change that to a decimal, 0.15. And the time is 3 years. So they just multiplied that all together. 750 times 0.15 times 3, you get $337.50. That is the interest that you pay on the account. Okay, it's just the interest. I'm going to show you too that you can use the percent key if you aren't sure about changing those percentages to decimals. You could do 750 times 15. I usually use, I think it's this one. Yeah, this key down here, the question mark key. I go to 15%, and then times 3 years. Oops, I forgot to hit Control Enter. $337.50. Same answer they got. All right, the total amount though would be your, oh, they're not talking about that. Okay, so the simple interest on $600 saved for 3 years at an interest rate of 6%. The amount deposited in the savings. Okay, I think they want the total amount here. But first we need to figure out the interest. So we're going to do our principal, which is 600, starting amount, times 6%, or you could put 0.06. If you don't understand this, use your calculator and do this, times 3. Okay, 600 times 6% times 3. That equals $108 in interest. The total amount would be 600 plus the interest. So now I have $708 total in my account. All right, so let's look at this. $500 for 2 years and an interest rate of 15%. So for my interest, I'm going to do 500 times 15%, PRT, right, times 2. This is interest equals P times R times T. And I'm going to get 500 times 15% times 2. I get $150. The total amount that I'm going to owe is going to be the principal plus the interest. That's $500 plus the $150 interest equals $650. Okay? Here, I've got P times R times T, right? So 1,500 times my rate of 6% times my time of 18 months. Notice that this is in months. Our time has to be in years. So when they give me months, I'm going to put that over 12 months in a year. Okay? So when I do this in my calculator, I'm going to do 1,500 times 6% times, control divide, and I'm going to do 18 over 12. Okay? Because this is months. And I get $135 in interest. Now, some of you might recognize that 18 months is 1 year and half of another. You could do this. 18 over 12 equals 1.5, and you could plug that in right there too. Either way. All right, so now my total amount is always the principal plus the interest. My principal was 1,500 plus my interest is 135. So 1,500 plus $135, that equals $1,635. $1,635. And that is the lesson for today.